It is a useful phrase, though, if the girl is at work.
And we are live.
Live?
Yep.
Yep.
Go, Nick.
Okay, perfect. Welcome everybody to the 12th Whale Shares Curation Show. We've been going for 3 months now. I think 12 is quite a significant number and a success for all of us. 12 is particularly poignant. There are 12 numbers on a clock face, 12 signs on a zodiac, 12 disciples of Jesus, 12 labors of Hercules, 12 months in a year. It seems particularly relevant. And we are in the coldest part of the year at the moment. So the first thing I'll point out is we're going to have a competition later, like the splits competition last week, but it's something to do with cold. I shall tell you about that in a bit. But first, let me welcome Rico, our guest, who's very fast becoming a Steemit superstar. Welcome, Rico.
Hey. Cool. Oh, was it Swedish or English?
I think English. We haven't got a
Oh.
huge Swedish audience, but how are you feeling about the show? Are you nervous? Are you excited? Are you scared?
I think a little bit of all of those. A little bit scared, a little bit nervous, but mostly excited.
Stuff. We're also going to have DJ Cubby's DJ Chatterbox section halfway through. She was ill last week on her deathbed, but she's she's recovered.
Yeah, I'm glad not to be on my deathbed anymore. That's good.
Worried about you for a time because your mood as well. You're normally so bubbly, but talking to Cubby on Messenger, I thought, oh, this is a different person. This is a girl in a bad mood. But anyway, we've got to have that. Okay, so this is not a show where you post your own content, as I said before. This is 5 curators posting content we've selected, good quality stuff, and talking about it. However, you will get 5 whale shares for listening in. You'll need to send me your open ledger address. Don't do it yet. Do it later. There'll also be prizes. If you've got any questions for Rico, send them to me in a DM. If I use them, you'll get some hair shares, which you can use to upvote posts as well. And there's also going to be a competition. So it's like last week. It involves taking a photograph of yourself. This week, because it's so cold, I thought instead of doing a pose where you have to be flexible, which excludes some people, we're going to look for the best photograph of someone wearing as many clothes as possible. You also need to have a piece of paper or something written on it that says whale shares, and then send the pictures to me, and then we will judge which one is the best entry. And whoever wins will be able to post their picture in a post and get some good upvotes from all the curators. I'll make sure it's a good solid upvote. I can't say how much it will be, but we will do our very best. But I think that's everything so far. So should we move on to our first post? Or, in fact, Rico, let's start with Rico. You tell us a little bit more about how you came to Steemit and your Steemit journey so far.
Yeah, that's a good question. I just saw a video on YouTube because I've been quite addicted to watching YouTube videos, and I learned a lot through that. And I saw the potential immediately, and it was kind of like love at first sight. So yeah, I just joined, and it was in June, so it's been here like 230 days or something. And yeah, I had quite a slow start. I was just like learning about the platform and everything, and it's quite, I think most can relate to that. It's like so new, everything, and there's so much things and you have to learn. So it's kind of like, yeah, I wasn't like active like months after I joined actually.
I remember because first time I encountered you, I think, on Freedom's show, and you were talking about your dumpster diving. I looked, I thought, this guy's doing pretty well. I hadn't seen him before. And I took a hiatus from Steemit, but I hadn't seen you before, but I was on the platform then. So I guess, well, you probably had come along, struggled a bit to start with, persevered, and just worked out the system. There's a certain way to succeed on Steemit. And it seems like when I look at what you're doing now, so much stuff, you're doing absolutely fantastically.
Yeah, I think like it's the perfect platform if you just learn about it and stay with it and understand it. Then it's yeah, I'm very happy to be here.
Okay, so bear in mind, everyone, we've got more questions for Rico coming up. Yeah, by all means, send them to me if you've got some. But I think we should move on with the first post. Cubby, are you there? You're normally our first poster.
I am. It's very weird to have to push to talk, so hang on a second.
It's a knack, isn't it? You forgot again. You've gone.
Yeah, it's different, but we shall persevere.
You've gone again.
Alrighty, so this is my first
Cubby,
post.
we can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So this is my first post, and you will notice when you click on it, oh good, I'm glad you almost picked it and didn't, because I did. And as you may notice, this post is not in English. And hang on just 1 second. Here we go. But it's actually written in Spanish. It's actually written in Spanish from this gentleman. And if you translate it, there's not much written in the post, but he's talking about this dish that he makes. And if you scroll to the very last picture, it shows this really cool wooden, I don't know how you would call it, stove, barbecue type looking grill. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Grill that he has, that he makes this fish. Now, I love fish. I love things cooked on a wooden grill. We have one at my house, and it just makes the food taste so good. So although it is not the most ideal formatted post, but the pictures are excellent, and it's quite interesting. And even though he didn't write much, he did talk a little bit about how this is one of his favorite dish and how it's fairly simple to make. I'm kind of disappointed he didn't talk more about how he made it, but nonetheless, I chose this one because I thought it was short, it was simple, and it was written in Spanish, and I thought that was really cool.
I love those fishes. I would eat them right now.
Actually, I had this dish before at a Mexican place. They also call it frita, like whole fried fish, and it was delicious.
Do you have to eat the eyes?
Oh, and it's in a turtle. It's in a turtle shell.
Well, that's cool. I didn't
Is
even notice
it?
that. That's neat.
Yeah, because it says pavón frito a la tortuga puro fósforo. A la tortuga is a turtle. And you can see it in the picture as well that it's a turtle's shell.
Oh yeah, it is. Oh my, I feel so bad.
It was probably already dead, though. I don't think they killed it just for these fish.
He killed it, ate it, and used its shell as a plate.
But you can reuse it. You don't have to kill a turtle every time.
Some turtles die of old age as well, though. So maybe it was just that.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we are cruelty free.
No, that's a solid post. I would be scared to eat that because there's eyes and heads on there. I like my fish sort of cut off and skinned, so it's all nice and clean and white. But
Oh no, I like to eat
maybe
the
it tastes
face.
better cooked like that. You really?
What?
I do like to eat the face and the eyes, but I'm savage.
Every week I learn something new about you, Cubby, and every week I'm more impressed by you.
Aw, thank you.
It didn't occur to me that you would like that. Sorry, go ahead, Rico.
Yeah, I just I love fish. I just prefer them to be at the poker table mostly, especially the dead ones.
You probably don't get much fish in your dumpster diving, do you?
Not much fishing. What? I get shitloads of fish, man.
Really? Isn't it so bad? I would have thought that fish is something once it's
Yeah,
thrown away. You don't have long.
You have to be really careful with fish. I mean, like, it's very easy to know if fish is bad, as you might know.
So we would use our smelling instinct, and if it smells bad, you don't need to.
Smells fish.
Okay.
It smells really bad.
If it smells fishy, like bad fish.
Very fishy. When you open it, it will smell in your whole house if it's bad.
I've got a question for you. We should move on from that post. Good post. It does look tasty. It would probably be lovely to munch that, cooked outside by that guy. Very authentic feeling. So get up voting on it. If you enjoy that post, it's going to get 100 whale shares. Rico, do you want to tell the people who are listening about your dumpster diving? Because some of them probably don't know what it is or that you do it.
Yeah, it started like 8 years ago or something, and I was introduced by a friend, and I was kind of like I have had a big shift in my life because been playing professional poker like most of my life, but then I quit that because I had some amazing experiences that made me like want to focus on like my other things like helping humanity and my spiritual progress and whatever. So I gave away everything I had, like all my things and all my bitcoins and everything. And I started to like live without money and dumpster dive and just trying to create like different forums and different parallel structures that we can use to not be so dependent on the system that I find are actually enslaving us at the moment. And so I started just dumpster diving, and I've just been doing it for 7 years, and I enjoy it very much, and it's a good way to shine a light on how much is actually wasted, because it's very hard to get a picture of it if you haven't seen it with your own eyes. It's really most of the food I'm dumpstering is actually from one, or maybe sometimes I go to 2 stores, but mostly it's from one store. And I dumpster a lot, so then you can get a picture of how much is wasted.
Okay. Do you know, when I mentioned that you were coming on the show, a few people, pretty much all of them said, "Oh, the dumpster diving guy." And then the next thing they would always say was, "Oh yeah, so much gets wasted." So I think that what you've tried to show with this about the waste, you've done a brilliant job because people have pointed this out. So well done. Oh, I've got a question from Amos811 who would like to know what's the coolest thing you found in a dumpster.
Yeah, I don't know. I found this. You can find like anything, but it was kind of funny thing. I found the working clothes of the place that I dumpstered. So I took that and I wrote like, what did I wrote now? I dumpster at, and then the store name like Willys, and then I always had that because it was good, because you get kind of dirty when you dumpster, so it's good to have some work clothes. And it was double, because then they thought I was working there actually, so it was like it's kind of smart thing to do. But you can find anything. I find like beer and cigarettes and medicine and money and all kinds of stuff.
That's weird with cigarettes, because cigarettes are so expensive.
Yeah, beer, cigarettes, and money. That's cool.
All you need.
But also last time I talked to you, there's one thing you were lacking in life. Do you remember what it was when we talked?
Lacking in life? That's no.
You didn't have a girlfriend at the time, so I'm guessing you can't find girlfriends in dumpsters. Is this still? Are you still in this situation? Or have you
Actually, I met a few girls through dumpster diving, but not like romantically. But in the dumpster, I met them. So we have like a kind of culture here for dumpster diving, even if it's declined a little bit recent years for some reason. But
so you climbed in a dumpster and there were girls in there already. Is that the case? Is that what?
No, not really. But I found guys in dumpsters, but girls I found just outside dumpsters that were gonna dumpster.
How would that work anyway? So you go to someone, like, so how'd you guys meet? Oh, in a dumpster.
Yeah, that would be awesome. It's better than Tinder or something. It's really big here now.
Yeah.
It's definitely realer than Tinder.
Yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
definitely makes for an interesting story.
Yeah, I think it says a lot about a person that dumpster dives. Actually, I all the people I met, I have some friends that I met through dumpster diving that are really, really good people. So, yeah.
I remember sometime in the UK they had a problem because they had these charity bins for clothes to be sent to, say, the third world or places that were struggling. So people would put their old clothes there, and it turned out teenagers were climbing into them to have sex. So I don't know if this would happen in other countries as well, but this is a very UK style problem. So obviously they had to do something about that. So some of them got taken away, and some of them got special doors that a human couldn't get through. So no more warm, cozy underage sex.
No more romance.
That
Ew.
wouldn't be for me anyways, because I'm a little bit afraid of closed spaces.
Did they have sex in the dumpster?
Yes, but it was a clothes dumpster for charity clothes.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Maybe
Ew.
it's a thing that a lot of people do now. I don't know, but anyway.
We have those here, like for clothes and shoes and books.
And for sex, apparently.
Yep. I mean,
If
it's
you
warm.
if you were in Russia, I was going to say, if you were in Russia and it was winter, you wouldn't even think of that. You'd think, I'm going to get in there and get under all those charity clothes, and you might have a good night's sleep in there. It's so soft, cozy.
That's crazy. I have a question for Rico.
Shoot.
Okay, so people that you meet through dumpster diving, most of them, do they dumpster dive because they cannot afford buying food, or do they do it because they cannot stand the thought of this food being wasted?
Yeah, there's many different reasons. There are definitely those that can't afford food. Even if like Sweden is a rich country, we have like much higher cost as well in living, and food is very expensive here, and our taxes is really high. So many people are actually struggling, and it's like actually like now I the main way I like share the food is like. I just post some pictures of the food on Facebook because no one here in Sweden has Steam, so they won't see it. So and people just call me and message me from different places, and they just tell me their story and how like they're struggling and everything. So it's really like people are struggling all over the world actually.
They are. Thank you.
There's also those that just want to be more sustainable and just take care of the food, because the food is not even close to getting bad, especially not here in Sweden. I think we're very like we throw it even before it's the expiry date, which is just a joke anyway. It's just set so much earlier than it has to be.
Yeah, the corporation have to make the money.
Exactly.
Right, should we move on to next post? Linda, would you like to go next?
Yeah. One second. I just told my girl that I'm presenting her post. So I chose this post because it has it all. It has naked booties, butts, if anybody doesn't know what that means, and it has gifs or what gifs or however you call them, and it has video of surfers, and it has great sunsets and photos and people jumping in water and everything that we're missing in the cold country. And the photos are amazing if you look at them, and almost in all of them you can see the people themselves going, it's not like the usual travel photos where you just see views, but you actually see people interacting, and I love that. And it is also very very helpful because there is the list of boats that you can take. It is from one place to another, though it's not like it's offering from all the destinations in the world to from the places in the world to this destination, but it's very nicely formatted, and I think Hubby, you would love that, and the bots, of course. And there's the time where you can fly from Cebu. I don't know where that is, but I love how she gives all the information you need to travel from one place to another. She lists budget hotels to stay in and island hopping. She should suggest what you should do and what is worth it, you know. And I think that's the amazing part about it because it's not just pictures; it's really useful. And I love those booties though.
I love this post. Thank you so much for picking it. I didn't see it in post promotion, but
Oh, I
it
had
looks amazing.
I had to dig so far down.
I bet. I see it's been made like 3 days ago. But yeah, this is an awesome post, and just like not even getting too deep into reading, just like the pictures make me feel like it's summertime.
Oh yeah,
It's a
and it's
I
so
thought you.
beautiful.
exactly, and that's what I thought. You know, so cool. It's so good formatted. It's so well made, and it only earned $2 for useful information and beautiful pictures. And that was something I just needed to.
I thought you were joking about the bare bottoms, but no. Everybody, if you do want to see bare bottoms, men's and women's, they are on this post.
The naked beach, the naked island. You can go to a naked island, just like Nick wants to build a naked hotel.
I've got a plan. This is off topic a little bit, but I've got a plan to buy a big old French place because they're cheap in France and turn it into a nudist hotel, which is something that I mentioned to Linda. And now Linda's desperate to go there. And I keep saying, I haven't built it yet, Linda, and you'll still have to pay like everybody else.
I already offered him to give him money.
But she's desperate to go. So give me a year or two. I've got to sort out this place first that I'm in, and then I'll build that one, and then you can go and visit.
Yay! And there's videos, guys, and those are cool as well. You have to check out those videos. She's learning to surf.
That post has got a lovely slice of summer to it. So yeah, if you enjoy it, please feel free to upvote. Also, bear in mind, if you want better curation rewards, after the show is finished, a full dose of whale shares will be added, so your curation will go up. So that's another thing to consider. Now, remember our competition this time. Last time we had Linda doing the splits. She got there was a great big upvote for that. I don't know if it will be as big as $40 upvote, but we will do our very best to get it as high as possible. I will pay for some for a bot on it as well if it doesn't get high enough. The way to enter is to have a picture of yourself wearing as many clothes as possible, holding something that clearly says whale shares. And you have to send that to me in a DM. Right, anyway, okay, Cotterin. Oh no, yes, Cotterin, let's move on to your post.
Let's do it. So this is my post, the first post that I would like to present to you guys. It's made by a lady that I originally met on Golos blockchain. She lives in Belarus and she quit her job in finance to become an artist. She's 34 years old, so she's pretty mature, and it's like a big decision to quit your good paying job to start doing something completely different. Anyways, he doesn't post much on Steemit or Golos anymore. Well, but I hope that changes. And she has really amazing wave of words, but you can only tell when you read her Russian writings. Maybe Nick would be able to do that and judge. But anyways, and she's in this post she's sharing her drawing progress, but also takes us on a journey, which is a date with art, so she calls it. Please go through the steps that she provides and you will see what I mean by that. Each step is a different stage of her romantic rendezvous. It's pretty creative, if you ask me.
Wow, that's very original.
It is.
It's not a normal kind of post, is it? You feel like you've gone on a journey with that one. Let me have another look.
Yeah, she started taking the classes just like, I think slightly over a half a year ago, and I think that's pretty amazing progress.
And her her water looks like real water. If you know, it's really hard to draw water.
Those are some pencil shading skills as well. That's impressive.
I like it. I love it.
Hey, this is a tiny bit sexy, Bobby. Have you read the text on it? It's the tiniest bit sexy. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, that's what I said, that it's just like a romantic rendezvous with art.
I haven't read it, but I love it when artists take a step by step on the process of how they design it, because it's usually not how I expect them to do it or how I anticipate it ending. So I haven't read it, but I'm sure it's just as romantic as her shading that she's added here. And you said she just started learning how to draw?
Yeah, I think it was slightly over half a year ago.
It writes here that 4 months ago.
Oh, I was wrong.
No, but she enrolled into drawing courses 4 months ago. So maybe
Yep.
she started
Wow,
to
that's
draw.
amazing.
No, she couldn't draw. It says that she just enrolled in the classes and picked up pencil for the first time.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's pretty impressive after a few months.
You can see that there's determination and probably a dash of talent in there, because that looks amazing.
Well, I'm glad you guys liked it. It's not your regular art post where just like somebody takes you through the progress. It's just like really a little sexual journey in a way.
I would hang this on my wall.
Rico, is that a quote? I didn't see that one. And sometimes when I feel a special upsurge, this actually leads me to a state of mild erotic stimulation.
Yeah, I just sorry, I just got knocked out of the tournament. But yeah, it's a nice post, and I have a friend here that's actually doing like. I watch him paint a lot because he's an artist, like professionally, and it's really nice to see like the progress when it's taking form and how it changes and everything.
It's weird, isn't it? If you can't draw, and then when people can draw, it looks so fantastic.
Yeah, and often it's like it looks like crap in the beginning, and then it all of a sudden it just evolves into something really beautiful.
They must have it in their heads beforehand, and we can only see it after a bit. Anyway, brilliant post. That was a good find, Katrin. Well done. Right, I'm going to move on to me now.
Thank you.
So I should point out we haven't had any entries yet for our wearing as many clothes as you can competition. It will be a decent upvote. It will be worth it for you. I pledged to get it to at least $5 as an upvote on Steam, which is worth quite a lot, and might go significantly higher if we can get some whales involved. So don't scoff at it. Do make the effort.
Rico, I have a
Here's my
question
post.
for you. Oh.
Yeah, go.
So, what is the craziest thing you have ever done?
I burned down a house.
Just randomly because you could, or what?
It was just it was dark.
Yeah. Okay.
I tried.
So you're like, oh, I could turn on a light, or I could burn the house.
No, there was no light, so I just never the. No, I was
bet
really
you were
young. I was like 10 years old or something.
Were you squatting or something?
I've been doing that as well, but that was much later. So that was pretty nice. I think that's actually how when I moved here to Gothenburg, like when I rid all of my things and everything, I just moved around because I didn't have a place to stay, and I ended up here in Gothenburg, which is a beautiful town here in the west coast of Sweden with like 500,000 people. And what I enjoy here is that there's so many different kinds of people here and different perspectives. And then I met a lot of people here that were really like seeing the problems that we had in today's society and actually wanted to do something with it. So we started to like, what's it called? To occupy different buildings and yeah, doing a lot of crazy stuff. But then the police came and threw us out eventually. It was it was very learning experience.
Can I just take you back to when you were in a dark house and you decided you wanted some light and so you burnt it down? What was the in-between step?
In between step.
Between
How do you mean?
dark and what, you lit a fire to get some light and the fire
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
spread?
I was a bit young, so I didn't understand really that it would burn so fast because it was in the summer. So they just, but it's like isn't like it was an abandoned house. So it wasn't that bad.
Okay, right. There was not like people in it that sleep upstairs or something.
No, I broke
Phew.
into my own school as well. That was kind of crazy. During my military service, I was really drunk, and I went home after school, and then I saw went home. I was gonna go home, and I passed through my school, and then I was gonna play some billiards by myself for some reason, and then I ended up there, and yeah, then the police came again, of course, and they weren't so happy.
So you were a soldier as well and a burglar, and you must have a thick file in the Swedish police as a big rebel.
Yeah, since I came to Gothenburg, I've been talking to them like very regularly. Especially, we have like special police here that is like called like dialogue police, and it was kind of funny. For a while, I was like meeting them like almost daily. They were like, "Oh, here you are again," because I was doing like different demonstration and occupations and stuff.
I reckon that, I mean, they don't say this publicly. I suspect most major cities, they've got special police files on the people who they perceive as anarchists, which you would probably fall into that category, I would guess, yes?
Yeah, most probably. But at least those police, those dialogue police, especially the one in charge here in Gothenburg, is really a good guy, or at least it seems like that. And he's really like, it's like, yeah, you can really talk to him, and so that's good.
Okay, sounds good. We've learned some more about you. Okay, I better do my post to keep the show going on. We'll be going for ages. Okay, I felt very privileged to find this. I was looking through the post-promotion channel. Sometimes it's hard to find really good stuff. And then this one popped out at me, which was something about animation. Well, I don't think much about animation, but I loved cartoons when I was younger. But this poster goes into detail about how much is too much exaggeration. And I thought it was a great little post. So he talks about, first of all, he mentioned that there's 12 principles of animation. I had no idea that there was this. The post isn't about that, but it gave me a link that I can click later to learn some stuff. Cubby will be interested to know there were great GIFs and images throughout. It was nicely laid out. But then he focuses on the principle of getting it right. And obviously, we all know the Roadrunner cartoons, they're exaggerated, but it's an exaggeration that works because of the theme. And then he jumps to the mask that's normally filmed, but it's got some computer animation in, and he shows the over-exaggeration, which can be a bit too much. And it basically discusses that and how when he was at animation school, he struggled with a bit, how his teacher's telling him you need to exaggerate more. And the exaggeration should be distilled down to push the message. And then he gives a really good quote, which I'll now read to you. Hold on, I've now got to find it, 1 second.
It is very well formatted. I love it, and he does an excellent job of breaking up each topic that he brings up too. And he has two banners at the bottom, which normally I'm not a fan of, but his worked out really well. So kudos to him.
Yes, you're right, Cubby. It's a good looking post. The quote I wanted to read to you. There's a reason I stuck on this. Don't make it real, make it believable. Well, I think that applies to almost any narrative art. If you're writing stories or doing animation, anything that you want to take the viewer or the reader on a journey, that's a key thing. If you make it too real, it's boring. So don't make it real, but make it believable. And I thought it was a great post. And when I picked it, it was on about 7 cents. Now it's jumped up. So either us picking it has given it a tremendous boost, or other people have seen how good it is. But anyway, yeah, it's I think a great post by someone I hadn't seen before. So I should probably follow him.
Yeah, great post, Chris. I really like the way it was formatted too.
I like that he gives real life examples, you know, that he puts himself in there and he shows it through himself.
And it's funny too. Like all the memes are really, really funny. So, it's not a serious topic, but, whenever you have funny memes, it kind of keeps you engaged in the writing. So you want to keep learning more and more. And even though the topic doesn't go in the direction you think it will, it still keeps you engaged with it. So he does an excellent job for it.
Yeah, that's funny. I saw a carrot. This big, no lie.
I love that one too.
I love that one. I also like the second one because it kind of reminds me of my old job. And sometimes after having like a really long day and you're just exhausted and you're just like, oh, I've made it through.
Reminds me of my computer job as well. We had those old computers, maybe not so old, but old.
Well, I think it's something to get voting on if you like it. Obviously, we'll get some whale shares. I should just welcome Jack Johannes Hemp, who is perhaps our most loyal listener. He's been listening from week one, and he also designed the logo for the show. If you see the post I do for the Whale Shares Curation Show, he did that for us as well. And I should also point out that Krista has said that she's going to put some Beyond bits on the post for the competition. So let me reiterate, the competition tonight is you wearing as many clothes as you want, holding something that says Whale Shares. With 5 Beyond bits, that's going to take it to, I think, about at least $7.50. We will all vote on it, so that will probably take it to, I'm not sure how much Rico's vote is worth. Maybe he's a whale now, I don't know, but that's going to go over $10.
Hundreds of dollars.
Rico's a billionaire now.
Millions of dollars.
Yes,
but anyway,
millions, sorry.
It's going to be a fairly big vote on it. I'll put some hair shares on it as well, so I think it's going to get to at least $15 an upvote. We might even get Cotrin's husband to, if we ask very nicely, to put a bit, though he hasn't promised yet. But other people will vote on it as well. I think anyone involved here will vote on it. So it's a good prize. It's worth having. But I need a picture of you wearing as many clothes as possible, holding a sign that says Whale Shares. Anyway, right. Let's move on to Rico's post. Rico, your first post.
Yes, hang on. So there, yeah, da na 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 na. So this first post of mine is from Africa. Hello, Africa. Tell me how you do. Yeah. Yeah. So Africa is doing great. Actually, Africa is fucking awesome, and there are some people that really understands the Steam blockchain and are doing a great job. So I really like to highlight that. And this post is made by Kofpato. This is a really cool guy and he's very smart. And what he's doing what we all should do. We should promote the Steam blockchain because it's a great thing, right? And it's as Dan, the man, said, it's one of the most important thing we can do in the beginning of this thing to actually promote it, because it's like a privilege for us to be here and have this platform to share what we love and let our creativity free. So we should share it with everyone else, and all shall be well. And what he's doing is just going around town in Ghana, and he's just telling people about it, and he's actually like giving away free money. And Kafaru is actually like what's it called, like a designer, graphic designer, so he's really good with that. So that's why they have like really nice graphics and like t-shirts and everything. And I really like the tagline, like dreams do come true through Steemit, and I really believe that. And I think we just we haven't seen nothing yet, but it's we'll get there.
I have one thing that is off topic, and Rico, you're not supposed to curse here because Happy gets really offended.
Oh, I didn't even realize I did. Sorry, Bobby.
It's all right. I'd prefer if you
Okay,
did
I
not.
didn't blame actually, so-
Bithy, you make it so dramatic. She gets deeply offended and just curses all your future children. Now, I would just prefer if you could limit the cuss words. I'd highly appreciate it, but I do understand it may slip. But
Hey, Cubby, you missed out last week because you weren't here. We were cussing like mad. Every second word was a cuss.
I
right?
was so concerned. But had it not been for my high fever and my strong medication, I would have been here to ensure you children behaved. But I should have known better.
It got really out of hand. Otrin and Linda were really going at it with the swearing back and forth. And I did think, if only Cubby was here, we could restore some order.
Yeah, but what they are doing as well, except like going around and telling people about the Steem blockchain and Steemit, is that they're actually creating hubs. So they're gonna build one hub now, and they are already finished it actually, which is like what's it called? Where you freight cargo, a container that they're gonna use as a hub to introduce people to Steem, and also because there really a lot of people are poor in Ghana, as you might know. So many people don't have like smartphones, and it's very expensive to actually get like smartphones there. So it's like the same price here, but if their pay is not even close. So they're gonna have that as a center to introduce people, and I think it's an amazing idea. And I think, this is a very good thing to support.
Yeah, for sure. I think it would also be nice, like if they had just a couple desktop computers and they would let people come over and use them, and make their posts on Steam that way.
And I read going through the post promotion. I read this post about them creating an initiative where a bigger account donates Steam power to the community leaders in Ghana. So I think it's really cool. I've seen a lot of action coming from African countries lately, and I think it's amazing that they are empowered their own people. I think that's an amazing thing to do, especially when this means so much to them.
I agree, Rika, that's a really big choice. A thing I say every week, which I think we sometimes forget. Well, we sort of all know it, but we forget about it, to mention it, and that is that or Venezuela, where their currency is not very strong, their Steemit rewards are fantastic relative to their income. So, for example, if you're in Norway and you earn $10 from a post, it's not very much. It doesn't make much difference to your life, because if you go out and have a beer, it probably costs $10. But if you're in a poor part of Africa and you're struggling for work or something, or your family is struggling, if you get $10, you can do a lot with that, and so it will be a great equalizer, and it takes wealth and it spreads it more efficiently to the poorer places. And so that's why we got money to Venezuela with a few posts by Big Dude, who does brilliant work, and it's great to see this as well, and it's great that you've chosen it, and hopefully we'll see more people from Africa, because obviously it's a big place, a lot of people there, all posting on Steemit and making money for themselves.
The thing is, to understand this, my friend was in Norway, so this is in Norway, and but the prices are similar there. And she paid €6 for a chocolate bar. And in places in third world countries, their wages are sometimes around $25 a month. So that's the difference we're talking about. It's not a little bit of difference. It is
Yeah, it's
a
crazy.
huge difference.
And like a taxi ride in Norway is like a year's salary in Ghana. And can you post that picture I sent to you, Linda? Yeah,
Yeah,
I love that one.
it's a bank logo. They have the red one is bank logo, and the blue one is MES.
Yeah, it's like one of those that transfers money. You know that you have to pay like insane amounts of fees to send money, and they're doing it quite a lot, back and forth from the Western countries to Africa, and they are earning so much, these bloodsuckers. But now we have Steam, where it's free to send money, and all shall be well.
And I also hear that in this is what not in Nigeria or Ghana, but it was in Africa. There are some banks that still that when you take out money from the bank, the workers in the bank tell people outside, and they steal your money with this big amount of money. So it's not just it's not just that they take fees or corruption going on in some of the countries.
Yeah, we even have just a few days ago, one of the biggest banks in Sweden decided that all their employees can't trade with cryptocurrencies. They banned that for the employees. So they are starting to fight it, but they're fighting a losing battle for sure.
It's one of the things I'm looking forward to most in the coming years, is seeing how the establishment tries to fight back against decentralization, because we can see already how hopelessly misinformed they are. They don't know what to do, and that's why we've had no laws about it, because the moment they make a law, crypto is going to, within a few hours, make a way around that law, and they will look silly. So they're not saying anything, and hopefully their power is being stripped away. And I guess, Rico, you'd agree with me. I'd like to see the end of these big banks. I'd like to see them utterly dismantled, and for us to be able to look back at this time and see the effect they had on the world, and how awful it was.
There is not enough people in the government as there are people living in their houses, So if people would really decide that enough is enough, we do have the power to change things.
Yeah, we just have to put our differences aside and unite. And I think the Steam blockchain is a perfect place to actually cooperate and collaborate and unite humankind once and for all.
Good stuff. Great post. Great choice, Rico, and nice bit of curation there. Hey, so I've got an entry for the prize of dressing up, putting as many clothes as you can on. It's from Sevo. Hold on, I'm just going to link you to it.
Nice. Who else?
Chevo for the win.
Always.
Come on, guys. You don't need to be naked. You need to put on clothes. Just put some pictures and get some uploads.
Come on. Put the pillowcase. That is
Nice.
awesome.
It's a little bit hard to see the note, though.
We're going to need to see whale shares more clearly. We're going to need you to use a darker pen, and I don't believe that's the entirety of your wardrobe you're wearing there, Servo. So
yeah, he's not wearing pants.
I think you need to put even more stuff on, and do us another one. But that's good. That's a brilliant attempt.
He doesn't have to if nobody else submits an entry,
Yes, he does. Come on, Chevo, you could do better.
I'm the absolute arbitrator here, so I'm going to say we're probably going to need a tiny bit more effort, Sevo. Go on, put some more stuff on. And anyone else who's watching, this is going to be a big upvote. I estimate it as at least $15 on a post, just for wearing as many clothes as you can, having a piece of paper or something that says whale shares on it. Anyway, and now it's time for DJ Cubby as well to do her DJ Chatterbox section.
Yeah, and whale shares really has to be more visible. That's just.
Yes, you're right, Rico.
Sure.
Need to use a better pen or draw it in bigger writing. Anyway, okay, so now we need to pick a subject for DJ Cubby's DJ Chatterbox section, which is her talking for a minute. Iwoso, you should write whale shares on it. DJ Cubby will talk for a minute on a subject of our choosing. She's not allowed to pause or hesitate or even take a breath. And she's promised us she's going to either rap or sing as well.
I did it! Where do you kids come up with this stuff?
So, if you've got a suggestion what you'd like to hear DJ Chatterbox talk about for 1 minute, tell me now. If I select your selection, you will win some hair shares.
Pumpkin pie.
You have to write it so we can all see it in case people are. Put it in the main room.
That's an interesting one. Rico, don't you rap?
Jo, jag rappar bara på svenska. Jag svär, snackar om Steam Blockchain. Jag är här. Hej, hej då. Nu slutar jag rappa, hej då.
Okay. Wrong.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever rapped.
Right, that was
That was
good.
pretty good.
Thanks.
Oh.
Nick, check your inbox from me.
Okay, I'm gonna look at some. I need more suggestions. In the
My real home planet. Belly buttons, that's an interesting one. Random.
Can I sneak
I
in?
second belly buttons.
Yeah, why not?
I wonder what Akrid means by my real home planet. Like, where do I hail from, Akrid?
Mine is Mars.
No.
Yes. Okay, I'm sneaking a question for Rico in while you are doing your stuff and choosing, guys. Rico, what was the first and the last, and if you ever made a cake from your dumpster diving? Your first cake and your last cake. I like cake.
First and last cake. Yeah. I don't know. I don't do much cakes actually. I do like maybe like a raw food cake. Like
That's that counts.
yeah, I like chocolate. So, but yeah, I don't like having a recipes or anything. I just put things together and I eat it basically. I like to keep it simple. But I don't really remember, like maybe bananas and chocolate. I really like, what's it called? Tahini. So I use that a lot, but that's pretty hard to actually dumpster. It's just very, very few occasions I find it.
I don't know what tahini is.
It's a sesame seed paste.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you should always, I have a advice, if you have it, especially the bought one, you should mix it out with water actually, because it becomes much more and it's actually better tasting, and you can also add like a little bit of lemon to it. Mwah.
It is pretty good. I love it.
Okay, that answers me. I love the raw cake. I have to.
So we had another. Sorry, we had another entrant for the this entrant was a doggy. I've posted. Who's going? Can I do that too? Creon, if you want to dress up with as many clothes as you want and hold something that says whale shares, you can of course enter the competition. I can't get the picture to post again. Linda, if you could try and do it for me. But this is a rival to. Oh, there it is. This is a rival to Sero's attempt. But please get them coming in. You will get an upvote that's likely to be about $15 on a post specifically for this, perhaps more. It needs to say whale shares clearly on a piece of paper, and you need to be wearing as many clothes as possible. That's the key factor. As many clothes as possible.
And that picture is a little bit fussy. Not that fussy. I love fussy, but
Yeah, the picture could do with slightly better composition. All those things. Yeah, the dog's going to get a 15 bone up to steam topics. But whilst you're working on that, DJ Cubby, there were 2 suggestions. I think the best one is Your Home Planet, the planet you secretly come from that isn't planet Earth.
Really? That belly button?
I think so. I think Linda's going to time you for 1 minute, as she usually does. You're not allowed to time it yourself, and she will count you in.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, I'm ready. Are you ready?
Hold on, let me make sure I'm pushing the right button. Okay. I am ready to talk about what is it? My
You don't
real
need
home
to start
planet?
yet. Yes, the real home planet, but you don't need to start it yet. I will tell you when to start.
Okay.
Okay. 3. Okay, sorry. 3, 2, 1, go.
Alrighty, DJ Cubby W here, talking about my real home planet, and it ain't Mars, yo. My home planet is South America, Brazil. And even though I wasn't born there, I do call it home because mom and dad and brothers and sisters, everyone that signs my last name, was born there, except the 3 of us. We were all born in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Well, at least 2 out of the 3, but that's besides the point. My real home planet is this crazy world called imagination, which lives up in my head. My head's usually in the clouds. Now, people call me Chatterbox, but I don't really chat that often or that fast. But every once in a while, they throw a challenge that I just can't throw down. Now, if you've ever been to my chatty world called Brazil, you know that we love 3 things: food, dance, and pretty much meat. Although today I met a vegetarian. How weird is that? And I was chatting with him in the chatterbox about the chatties of Chatty of Brazil. And one interesting thing he said is he's never ever liked meat. Now this is atrocious. Every Brazilian loves meat. But he said he's a vegetarian from birth. How can that be? Anyways, that is my hometown. That is the real town. I'm actually from Florida.
Okay.
That was terrible. I don't like it.
That was pretty good, to be honest. No, I like you threw in some rapping early on. I think that was a pretty good one.
I liked it, but I'm kind of thinking. I liked it very much, but I hoped she was from another planet. But imaginary planet was really nice. But Massachusetts is not on another planet.
The thing is, she is from another planet, but she can't really tell us because that would break the secret.
Yeah, but nobody would believe her anyway. I tell
Okay.
everybody I'm from Mars.
You would believe me.
Yes, because I'm from Mars.
Okay, so you've got an 8 from Jack Johannes Hemp. Cubby, I'm going to give you an 8.5. I thought that was pretty good, actually. Yes, you lacked a bit of passion today, maybe.
Yeah.
So you didn't have the energy. Okay, Crazy Krista's giving you 8.2.
I think you were talking much faster than usually, but they are right with less passion, so I will have to go with Nick on this one, 8.5.
Yeah, I liked it. I give it a 9. I just had a little bit. I liked the speed. But there was a few small breaks, which else you would have gotten a 10. But I think this is too easy for you now. I think we should increase it to because it felt really short time. We should increase double the time or something.
Oh,
at
wow.
least.
Oh, no. That was hard. I was running out of things to say, but I appreciate it. Katrin?
What about doing like a half an hour one or an hour? You can have your own DJ Cubby Chatterbox show.
I would die if I couldn't, if I had to talk for 30 minutes without taking a break, and I already have to, and it's been 1 minute. I would just faint. I know
We
it.
can do it. We can do it together. We can have 1 minute each, and then we just what's it called?
Oh, I like
Swap.
that. That's a good
Yeah,
idea.
and we just go on for half an hour.
Oh, gosh.
You can be buddies in crime.
All right, Katrin, you're the final vote. What say you?
I'm gonna give you a 10 because I feel like you did good. You didn't stop and you kept going, and even though you didn't talk about planets in space, you did a pretty good job, and you deserve the highest rate.
Not bad.
Ha 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 ha. Thank you. And ironically, last week you guys all gave me the same scores except for Katrin. She gave me higher this time, and our guest judge last time gave me a little bit higher too. But Rico, that's all right. It's your first Chatterbox experience. It's not my best. That was tough. I hope to impress you next time.
For anyone who's listening, you should note that Cubby notes all these down and then plots a graph of her progress so she can increase in skill every week.
Or because I write a recap, and so I was looking at what I wrote last week and taking note. Yes, Ackard, you can give a score, even though I know I'm perfect in your eyes. Ovs.
And then he comes to the 5.
Yeah, seriously. Steam Power, I didn't see your score. What was yours? And guys listening, feel free to score me. Like, that's okay. I may disagree, but that's fine.
Right. Anyway, I've got some pictures to send through. Other people have been dressing up, so hold on.
What? A 14 out of 100? This is why we can't have nice things. Handsome. That's hilarious.
Still hard to see.
This is from Jiro, who was here last week as well. That's a good solid effort. A lot of clothes there. That's nice.
Wait, the dog wasn't from Eureka?
No.
I thought it was from you. Those entries sent to Nick and tell him who sent it.
Oh yeah, sorry.
It's no problem.
Hey, Linda, could you post that one? Because my desktop is getting a bit cluttered up here.
Look. I think... Is that a naughty image that was sneaked in there? I don't know. You guys tell me.
Probably. I like how she's wearing boxers on top of her pants. That's hilarious. Yeah.
So-
Now we're talking. So
I asked Severo to make a better attempt with more clothes, and he's zoomed in and done that. So
The lady doesn't even have socks on.
That's a really good one. Whoever posted that last one. Is that you? Oh, I know who that is.
so
That's awesome.
Wusa, yeah, I like the Wusas the most too.
what's the one? What's he drawn on letter I?
That's what I told you. I think he sneaked in some naughty picture.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Oh my
Or is
gosh.
that naughty?
that's awesome.
Oh my god.
Okay. And now we've got another one. Hold on.
Unbelievable. Special art for me. Oh my gosh. That's awesome.
Is it Dan?
That's the best one for me. That's the best one ever.
This is the best one with me as well so far. You can see Welsh's clearly. He's putting a very good face. He's clearly put a lot of clothes on.
He's put a ton of clothes on. How many layers are you wearing?
That?
No, is he out? No, he's inside. Is he outside? Inside.
He's inside out.
Wait a minute.
There's another
Oh, cute puppy.
That's,
another
but
doggy
that's
one.
the one before. Somebody has a lot of dogs, so
So
No.
we will keep going with the show, but there's still more time to send these in. Cubby, you went first before, so let's go back to you for your second post.
Okay. Whoops. Yeah.
oh, I always chose this one. Oh no, they not did one. I just looked at it.
fight. Okay, so this one is also not in English, which seems to be the theme of what I wanted to choose for this week. I don't know about you guys, but I had a particularly hard time finding hidden gems, as I like to call them. But then I saw this one and I thought, what a beautiful picture. And I didn't understand what it had said, but it said, my greatest achievement in Steemit, thanks Steemit. And I saw the camera. I was like, oh, maybe Steemit bought him a camera. So if you read through the post, I actually translated it, and he's talking about when he first started on Steemit, the friend he tagged is who invited him on there. He had a relatively hard time on there, but after a couple of weeks, and I think even months, if I remember correctly, he was able to save his rewards and buy this camera. And he's just so grateful for all his friends and followers and for helping support him. And then the second part of it, he goes into what he has done to be successful on Steemit. He talks about commenting on whales' posts, commenting on their comment section, and really putting effort into it. And over time, he was able to be successful. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this community doesn't always have the best rap with quality posts. And so when I saw this and I saw how great the pictures was, the paragraphs were well formatted and spacing was really well, and I translated it and it had a lot of good context and good things to say, I was so proud. I was like, look at this individual putting in the work, hustling over a long period of time. Not only has he learned the ways of Steemits, which is commenting, engaging with other people, but he's done it in a language that's not his native tongue. Papa Pepper, Davigus, and the other one he names all write in English, but he's been able to do that, and he creates quality content himself. So he's put in the work, he's waited the time, he's been able to invest in not only in himself by buying this camera, but the community itself. And so I love this post, and it only had, let's see, how much does it have now? It's about $2 now after I voted, but I had less than that when I first found it, and I just couldn't believe it. And I thought, what a shame, even though it's not written in English, for people to overlook this post, because they never should. We should always look at posts that aren't written in our native language, because we never know what they may be saying and what value they may hold. And so if you get a chance, check him out. He's a cool dude. He just bought a camera, and he's putting in the work, and I think we should all reward him for it.
You know why I was a little bit confused and I thought I almost chose the post? When I opened it, I really liked his face. He has a very kind face.
Yeah, that's why I chose it too, because I was like, what a friendly face.
Good point, Linda. It is a really kind looking face.
Yeah, he looks like that kind of person that, that is always nice to people.
What defines a kind-looking face?
Just person smiling, mainly.
Maybe the eyes as well?
Yeah. He just looks like he's really grateful being a part of Steemit in this picture.
Yeah, true. I'm proud.
Yeah, look what I made with some invisible money.
Not so invisible anymore. There's a camera for that. What is this going on in the chat? What is this thing actually? P-U-P-T? What is that?
Yeah. Good question.
I have no idea what he's talking.
What?
Nothing. It's a little bit distracting, but
Sorry, everyone. I got another one through. This is from
That's a
Bushkill,
good one.
who's here most weeks as well. This Bushkill is the bee man.
you should put on your beekeeping hat, Bushkill, and then make a photo again.
Yeah, we want to see your smile as well. What the hell?
You're so beautiful. Come on.
But I like it.
My favorite is still up there.
So we're gonna vote on them, or how are we gonna do it?
I'm gonna pick because I'm a benevolent dictator this week.
What? Come on, Nick, let us vote.
But we got to get to the end first. There's still more coming in.
Okay, you'll let us vote at the end?
You should send them to me, and I can make a collage out of them real fast.
Okay, we can do that. See, this person, it's a good effort, but you've missed the point of lots of clothes. I appreciate you. You might be somewhere where it's hot, but you got to have more clothes on than that. I will let you vote on them as long as you vote for what I want to vote for. How about that?
But look how cool
Next-
his is. He
next.
used like blocks to write whale share. That's unique.
Yeah, he's cool. Next time I'll decide the rules, and it will be less close the better and very visible whale shares. Okay?
No, that could be dangerous.
We could do that,
No.
couldn't we? We
Rico
could do
is
that.
my kind of person.
Yeah, we
Good.
could just tell them to get completely naked and write whale shares on their body.
And
If
cover
anyone's-
their special
Perfect,
parts.
perfect.
Oh, no, cover their special parts with them.
Thank you. Bare minimum, people.
For anyone who's listening, Linda mines Bitcoin at a furious rate, and this renders her top floor flat, so hot that she basically has to walk around naked all day. Normally she tells us this each week, but I thought anyway, if you gentlemen find that interesting,
Gonna
she's
keep
now
them.
she's now curating for you with nothing on.
I'm actually wearing the shirt today.
Why?
Hold on, this was not part of your employment contract.
I like to rebel.
Right. Anyway, we should move on. Oh, in fact, we've got some more questions from Rico. Let's do that a bit. I'm getting quite a lot of pictures coming in now because my computer's slow. It's taking me a while, so that's why there's some pauses. Anyway, Rico, are you a Viking?
Maybe I'd say I'm a human, but maybe I have some like Viking blood in me or whatever.
You're a Viking, but primarily a human. Would be...
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good answer. So, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. What defines a Viking, really?
Well, okay, so this is what I was going to ask you. Traditionally, Vikings were very good at two things: rape and pillage. Now, obviously, raping nowadays it's very much frowned upon. But the pillage thing, I wonder if it's your Viking blood that is making you pillage through these dumpsters.
Yeah. Okay.
If this could be the connection.
Yeah, I have a really different view on like where we are and our history. I don't really believe in any of our common history that we are told. I think it's more like a fairy tale, and I also believe that the people that has been living here has actually contributed a lot to today's world. And I don't think we have actually done that we have done like the rape and pillage thing, that we actually defended Europe from an hostile force, and that's why we went out with our boats and did some crazy stuff. But yeah, I have no idea, but that's just my perspective on things. And I think we will do it again. I think we will be here to save the day, because right now we've been brought up in a very dark age, but we're getting out of it now, and we're seeing things much more as it is.
You think we're going to see a renaissance from the north, or a new way of doing things?
I think it will come from everywhere, but I'd like it, us in the north, to be a big part of it, and I'll make my best for it to be like that.
Okay, interesting. Now I've got an interactive. This is something we will vote on, but it's not the it's not the competition. Oh yeah, we saw that one before. He's got quite a list. That's the one with the picture for Cubby. So this is a picture I would like us to vote on immediately. 1 second.
He put more clothes on in this picture. That's hilarious.
Still looks a little bit chilly.
many pairs of pants is
Now,
he
my-
wearing?
Now there's Rico. My question is, and this is mostly to the ladies, with the beard, does he keep the beard? Or does he get rid of the beard?
It's not coming off though.
I need to see how he looks without it to judge.
Yeah, I'll get you a picture. Hang on.
I say he
But,
does without the
it was-
beard. Because you have long hair, don't you? Looks like you're in a ponytail.
Yeah, but it's just weird to cut off your hair. I don't understand why you would ever do that. It's just some weird stuff that we've gotten used to lately.
Beard off, clothes on. Oh, that's so
So, Rico, you were saying that under no circumstances would you cut that beard off?
Nope.
Okay, fair enough. It's a rare thing, a blonde beard, and it's certainly the style I've looked to it. I think you'd look younger without it, but you look quite manly with it. So the
Yeah,
beard
I
is
found
staying.
I found the fountain of youth, brother. So don't worry. I'll just keep looking younger day by day.
Another question: are you interested in the Norse gods? Is it something that you find interesting? Thor, Odin, all those kinds of things.
Scotch liquor? No. I'm interested in that. But what did you say? Scots?
No, Thor and Odin, the Nordic.
Oh
gods.
yeah.
Which ones do you worship?
I don't worship any of them, but I think there's much wisdom and knowledge in the old traditions. I'm more into like the old traditions of all the native populations of Earth, not the new beliefs that we have in today's society, which is kind of stupid in many ways. So I really like, for example, Yggdrasil, you know, the mother tree, like when you can see in Avatar. I think that's a very powerful what's it called, like symbol, and yeah, it might be some truth in it.
The tree of life.
Exactly.
Everybody has
Okay.
a tree of life in their culture. I have one on my shop. I have one tattooed on my side.
You're a little bit pagan-y then, I suppose, aren't you? I've got another entrant here. Hold on.
That's an awesome collection of pictures.
I will add more when we get entry. Oh my gosh.
It will be hard to beat these though.
That's a good one. That's got a lot of clothes on as well. This is Samantha J. Barnes, who we met last week through. She was a friend of Gabchick,
Why is this
who
so
was our
small?
guest curator.
This is the problem, you can't see whale shares again. Have to make it bigger.
There's one from Creon coming soon as well. But whilst I'm setting these up because my computer is a bit slow, should we do the next curation post? Linda, would you like to go next?
Second, yes. Okay. Speaking of tattoos, I chose this because of selfish reasons, because I have my own tattoos and I have my own tribal tattoos. I have two on my arm and on my ribs. And I really like this post because it kind of brings her. She has the same thought that I had. Like I wanted a tattoo when I was around 14, 15 years old as well. And the thought never went away. And then I finally did them when I was 20, 21, like a year and two or two ago now. And I love that she explained that she has a meaning for her tattoo, and you can see that it's a very beautiful tattoo as well. It's a little bit, it's not really tribal, but it has those elements, you know, those arrows are a little bit tribal with the flower, and I like that it's mixed together. And I'm gonna read you what it means if you have it open. The flower is a gardenia, which represents my mom. The arrow that crosses the flower represents my dad. The The sprouts that are on the bottom represent my brother and me, and the arrows on the sides represent the path that each of us, my brother and I, could take in our lives. And I had a very, um, that's what she wrote, and I had a very similar idea before I figured out what I wanted for my tattoos. I wanted to do a tree, and I wanted to do a tree branch every time when somebody who impacted me in a way came into my life, like somebody who left their imprint on my life. I wanted to do a tree branch for them. For example, for my mom, for my brother, and anybody who kind of shaped me. And I think she did a really amazing job that she has a meaning for it. And she also writes that you don't have to have a meaning for everything. For example, there's also a passage where she says, I have met several people who have told me about their tattoos. For example, a person told me once that his tattoo did not have a meaning as such, it expressed how he felt inside. And I think body art is something like that. It's a tribal thing has been that has been very sacred in past. You know, it's used in rituals and such. And I'm not really into the colorful ones or the like overly big animals and such, but I like something simple and tribal things that it feels kind of like a protection. So I think, oh yes, Kapi, we should get matching curator tattoos. So I think it's, you know, for each person we have our own things that we like, and some people like colorful tattoos and lions and owls and that kind of things. But my things are those that are plain and simple and just lines without colors, and I think those are the nicest ones. And I really like this one.
All right, so we're gonna
So-
get matching tattoos apparently. Now I don't really believe in tattoos, so they'll probably have to be henna tattoos, but we can make this happen.
It's nice that everybody's writing well shares. One could have had a glove on it, that hand, but again, it looks hot there. But they're doing well, I think.
I was told it was too hot to dress to put on clothes, so they just shared well shared pictures.
Yeah, but then, I mean, if you want to win the contest, you gotta do it. That's the rules.
Well, maybe they just wanted to share a picture.
My perspective on tattoos is I think they probably look good on your body, as long as your body looks good, if it's your thing. But I would worry about when I got when I got a lot older. When I was 70, my grandfather had tattoos. He got them in the war, and he absolutely hated them. And so he got one in Ceylon, one in India, and they were badly done, and they were blue, and they were spreading out, and he was really ashamed of them. But all his mates in the army had got them at the time, and then so I always had a perspective of thinking, oh, I wouldn't want that, perhaps. But they do look good. Good ones do, I think, on the right sort of person. And if your body looks good, it looks good as well. And I can imagine how it's interesting to have some meaning.
Well,
I often thought, go ahead.
I only have one tiny one on my arm. Like you can't really, it's not on the place that the skin gets that much during wrinkly. I do know it's gonna get fatter, the lines, because they go into the bloodstream. But the other one, the bigger one, is where you usually wear clothes, you know, on the ribs. And I'm really proud of mine because they have like divine meaning for me, like a tree of life and the sign of my pagan gods is for protection. So it's kind of, I think you need to know because I totally agree that it's not for some people.
Yes, I know what you mean. Who are your pagan gods?
We mostly worship stones and trees and everything, but we had like a dad, like God, like the daddy that looks after everybody. We have a nice word for him. Then we have the tree of life, that's another like godly kind of thing. And then we had the sign of snake actually we have as well, and I almost have a tattoo of the sign of snake. It's like infinity, but I have infinity, but the sign of snake is like it's not connected in the middle on one side. I can actually show you, wait.
We can see a tattoo?
Not my tattoo, but a version of it.
Don't worry, Acrid, we're all extremely beautiful.
That is the middle one is very similar to mine, but I have it bigger. The one on the ribs, and that's the kind of tree of life. And it just goes longer than the middle one. It goes down and it goes into a tree. I think this is just the image is 3 different parts of the middle, the top, and the bottom of it. It's quite similar to this one. And
It looks a bit like a crochet pattern.
Sorry, a crochet. Yeah, we put this on belts and everywhere.
Okay, it's interesting. Anyway, good post. I've got some more pictures for people. Hold on.
Let's see them. This is funny. It looks like it's a large sock on his head.
This is the exact tattoo I have.
That's nice, Linda. We need a picture of it, though. Not anything obscene, but it'd be good to see it on a bit of flesh to see how it looks. So, here's a doggy talking about whale shares as well.
But you have to take it like this. The doggy is already dressed. He has all of his coat.
And that picture is where Sebo went to get his tattoo done. He wanted me to see. So that's that in Holland is it's an excellent place for tattoos. It looks very hygienic there and nice. Everybody's gone quiet.
I'm making.
Where are my curators?
I'm making.
Okay, you're making. Where's Cubby? Is Cubby there? And
Sorry,
Cotran?
I
Are
got
you all still
sidetracked.
here? Enrico?
Yeah, I think all the dog pitchers will get whale shares.
They did not qualify though.
Yeah, but we should have a special, like at least one whale share for every dog pitcher with whale shares. That's my request.
Well, if you have whale shares, that's fair.
Okay, I'll send the whale shares for the dog pitchers.
I can send some whale shares as well.
Okay.
I
Good.
only send whale shares to the kitties.
Yeah, I love doggos, so I don't mind sending. I like the pit bull doggo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's move on. Let's move on to the next post while we discuss this.
What if we have a dog and a kitty and whale shares? What about that? Then we both send.
We cannot send both because it's one account upvoting them.
Damn it.
Cotterin, are you there with your post?
Yes, here's my post, guys.
Good. This is a very you-looking post.
Yeah, this is my second post, and it's another game review. It's actually made by the very same person that made the previous review. But these reviews are so good and professionally made that they deserve more than just $1, because you can tell they spent hours making them. So I'm going to try not to pick the same person often, or like 2 times in a row anymore, but I just could not make myself pick something else. Anyways, so I feel like he is very talented, and we should make sure that he gets paid so he keeps writing reviews here on Steemit, and we can read them and hopefully attract more traffic to our site. And as always, this is a very well structured game review. Gameplay, visuals, audio, story, all of that have detailed explanation and rating. And yeah, it will be helpful to anybody who's considering buying it.
Oh, it's got a very high review score.
Yeah, it's a good game.
I saw
Have
this
you
one.
played
I
it?
thought Catherine will pick this.
Yeah, I forgot. I pressed it 2 times, and I was like, Catherine is definitely gonna take this one.
Of course.
But did you play it, Katrin?
And now I didn't play it, and my husband did, but so I know what it is about.
Okay, cool.
Actually, when we went to YumaCon this fall, there were so many Persona 5 cosplayers. It was ridiculous. Like, all of the people, all of the team of people that are in the game, and people would be like in groups walking just like characters from the game. There was so many of them. Let me find Let me find a picture and I'll share it in the chat.
Cool.
No, it's
Hey, whilst Catherine's doing that, let me just take a moment to tell you about whale shares as a concept. If you've been here a while, you probably know already, but if you're fairly new here, I'll need to explain to you. So for coming to the show, you get some free whale shares, which they are upvotes from a large account. They're tokens, so 100 is a full upvote. You get 5 for being here if you send me your Open Ledger address. Now, Open Ledger is a decentralized platform that lets you trade. So I could send your whale shares to that. Actually, could you push the talk on for me? Yeah, you can send it now. Once you've got your Open Ledger address. If you don't have an Open Ledger account, tell me, and Ekru's going to put a link for you now, and he will be able to take you through a tutorial as well if you're not sure. But basically, yeah, so I'm getting some things coming in now. I need your Open Ledger address and you'll get free whale shares. If you've answered something or showed something funny, you'll get some hair shares as well, which is an extra little bonus. If you don't have an Open Ledger account,
Oh,
Ekru, do you want to put your referral thing, your link? So if you don't have an Open Ledger account, go to this link that Ekru's going to post and set one up. Or Krista's got one.
look at the picture.
And if you don't understand this, if you're baffled, still hang around afterwards and I will continue to explain it in more detail. Anyway, sorry, Catherine, had you finished or not?
Yeah, I'm finished. Anyways, I bought this post because it's a good post. As you can see, it is very well written and it's like a good, solid review, and it deserves a lot of upvotes.
Catherine, are you in that picture?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh,
Catherine, what character from computer games you dressed as this week?
Me, today I guess I'm just dressed as myself.
Which one would you dress as if you could choose?
Well, since we're talking about this game, I think if I were to pick a character, I would pick a character from this game, and that would be Futaba. It is a girl in the middle with orange hair. She was a hacker in this game.
she looks like a boss.
She was pretty cool.
So before we move on, if you haven't got an Open Ledger account, there's one from Acrid. 'Cause either of those you can use to get an Open Ledger account. They will be your referrer. Oh, Krista's freaking out. Well, you can use either, because Acrid put Krista's and Krista put Acrid's. But if you need an Open
So
Ledger
selfless.
account, go there and set it up. And we can help you from there on. There's also a course or sort of a training thing to help you use whale shares. You actually get paid whale shares to go and learn that. So you earn another 10 for that. So it's great returns. And it's the reason we do this show, to get you using this resource and get you earning them as well, and just get a bigger economy of whale shares. Are there any more questions for Rico?
Rico, do you play video games?
Oh, good question. I love games so much. It's been such a big part of my life, and I started playing when I was just a little toddler, like I was just a few years old, and I've been playing games my whole life basically. So it started with these small Game & Watch games, as you might know, like from Nintendo, and I started playing like Nintendo 8-bits and 16-bits, Super Nintendo, and then I started playing computer games more. And yeah, it's just, and I actually played like professionally for a while, and then I went into military service, so I couldn't continue. And after that, I started playing poker, and I still love games, but I just don't like have the time, or I don't prioritize it, because now I see like kind of like life like a big like multiplayer online role-playing game or whatever. And like the small games, like you can play it, but just don't let it take over your life, because the main game is the real deal.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, what's your favorite game, Rico? I've been asked by Johanna Semp.
Favorite game, like I guess poker. It's so nice because it's like very social game, and it also tests your many of it simulates life a lot, so you need many good traits like to be a good poker player.
Okay, and if it was just computer game?
I like real-time strategy games a lot. Like I've started playing like Warcraft, and then Dune, Warcraft, StarCraft 2 is one of my favorite games now. So I kind of like, I don't play it much because I don't have the possibility, but I actually watch it, like the best players sometimes. Like some people watch soccer or football, I watch that instead. Or maybe like a good first-person shooter, like Return to Castle Wolfenstein, like a similar to Counter-Strike, but much better.
We should, we have so many people. We should just make a group that plays together those online multiplayer shooters.
Yeah, and I really like those old games as well, like Super Mario Go-Kart and those very simple 2D games, but they are amazing.
I'm horrible at Mario Kart on Wii.
I'm decent at it.
Right, let's move on to the next post, because we've still got a few to get through, and then we've got to judge the photograph competition.
So who's up next? Nick.
So this is me. This is Sebi91, who won something last week. So I'll make sure he doesn't win again next week unless it's fantastic. This was a great post. I didn't really care about space before, and I looked at the last one, and it got me a bit interested. And I've been hearing so much about Elon Musk and things, and everyone raves about Elon Musk. And I think, who is this bloody Elon Musk I keep hearing about? And SpaceX. And I've been reading his posts and reading a bit more about it, and I think, oh wow, a private company is sending, I don't know if it's a rocket or a shuttle up into space, but anyway, this is getting closer and closer. They're really going to do it. And then I read about what Elon Musk is doing, and he's a real showman as well. The cargo for this plane, you probably wouldn't get out of this shuttle or rocket, you probably wouldn't guess, is one of his cars. Now, he makes cars anyway. He makes these Tesla cars, so he's sending his car up. So obviously he hopes it comes down again. but this is happening soon. Okay, we're going to get another post from Sebi99p tomorrow. Beautifully written, really good English for someone who's, I believe he's Romanian, so impresses me, good pictures. Certainly worth following if you find this even the tiniest bit interesting, because it's got me interested. It's hooked me. Sebi says Elon Musk is a troll. Maybe do a post on him. I know nothing about him.
I love this picture before he got famous and after he got famous, and you see that his whole appearance changed.
Hey, there's a point. The point that IntelliGuy makes about Sebi, I overlooked this, but it's a good point. He doesn't just repost news articles like many do. He writes his own news article. That's very important. So Sebi99p is a journalist on Steemit, effectively. So good stuff.
This is so good because a lot of people just repost from a bunch of other posts and put all the references up, which is still good, but something completely original is next level.
Yeah, I like how he put his own thoughts and opinions behind all the facts and information. Obviously, very good extra brownie points for wonderful formatting. And it's a bit of a read, so I'll have to go back and really reread it. But the little that I did skim from it did seem very interesting. And I had heard a little bit about it before, so I'm glad that he goes into it a little bit deeper.
Brilliant, great stuff. Rico, before we move on to the last post by Rico and then judging the competition, I should say that the show doesn't end when we stop curating. We just turn all your mics on and you can come and talk to us, make friends with us, ask us things, abuse us, anything you want. I'm here to soak it all up. So I'll be hanging around for a while. Some of the others will as well. But please hang around. We have a bit of a party. Last week we had a jam. Someone came in with a guitar, and then Sebo did some music, and then someone was singing. So there's a lot more to hang around for. But anyway, okay, Rico, would you like to go ahead with your last post?
Yes, thank you. There you go. Yeah, this post is from Venezuela, and it's a little bit. It shows like the power of the Steem blockchain and what we can actually do with it to help the people in need. And it's my friend Don't Stop Me Now that's initiated the project, and he's working with. He's in Uruguay, but he's working with people in Venezuela to make this possible. And this is the second giveaway that they're doing, and they're actually just posting about it and giving away breakfasts to people in need. And so they, because as most people know, that it's really, the situation in Venezuela is really hard for many people because of the banking system, and their money is not worth so much, and their salary is very, very poor. So there's a lot of poor people, and that's what he's trying to help, basically. And you can just see like there's a lot of nice pictures of people eating, and they are making it like they are cooking it from the ground up, like traditional Venezuelan food.
I saw that post earlier today and I upvoted it. Actually, I think it is already the second time that they prepared breakfast for people. I think last week they were giving away breakfast at the hospital. I think it's really awesome that there are activists and people who care for their fellow people that live in the same country and help each other.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's like, I think it's so important thing to do, and I think it's really like, I really believe that this is what's going to be most rewarded in the Steem blockchain as well, because it's obvious that you're doing something good with the money or with the focus. So I implore more people to focus on like just giving and helping people. I think everyone will know about the Steem blockchain soon.
Yeah, for sure. It's amazing being able to see people not only making money for themselves, but also sharing whatever they make and just bringing power to the people.
I love that huge dough that they have, the centipede of dough.
I was thinking if I wish they would just make that as a great big snaky bread rather than the small ones. Obviously, it's not as easy to give out, but it looked tasty like that, I thought.
It does look very delicious. I want to try it.
Yeah, and the plan is just they are getting a lot of support already. There's many people that are on board, but they are planning to just like expand it and just keep continuing and keeping it grow. And I think like that's what we need to do now, everyone here. Like you just have to be persistent and just focus on this, because I think we're all found an amazing place to do good stuff and to learn from each other and collaborate. So if we just keep to it and just continue and learn, I think we can do amazing stuff going forward.
Very true.
I think that's true. I commend you on choosing that. We've had some posts from Venezuela before. We had Big Dude a few times, who's a regular here as well. And it's true. This is one of the best things that Steemit's doing. And I'm glad that there's other people recognizing it everywhere. That this is how we're slowly sort of spreading wealth to the world, and this is what crypto will do as well. It will make it unstoppable, and yeah, it feels really good to be a part of that. And I think what you're doing, Rico, because you're not only posting about it, you're living your life fully engaged with this kind of stuff. It's fantastic as well. So well done to you.
Oh, thank you, Nick. And I'll do an announcement now for the first time. And I think I'm ready for it. It's actually that I'm going to quit using fiat totally. So I'm going to live only off crypto and the Steem blockchain, basically, and any other blockchain that comes along, I guess. But yeah, it's like an experiment. But as I don't have any cost, the only cost I have is rent. And I have all the people living here on the Steem blockchain already introduced. I can just pay my rent in Steem now as well. So.
Excellent, brilliant. So you're stepping fully out of the fiat system.
Yeah, because I want to inspire others to and show it that it's possible that we can live without this money that's been, in my view, enslaving us and being controlled by a few people. And I much prefer using money and choose myself. And this is like the first time that we can actually choose. So and I'm very, very excited to do it. So I've been thinking about it for a long time, but I haven't been able to get all the pieces together. But now it feels like I'm already there, finally there.
The first one to do it here. I don't know if anybody else who is trying to do this. There probably are people, but you're the first one that I meet that's trying to do that.
Well, I suspect that's going to make a hell of a post. That's going to get a lot of interest in Steemit as well. You will. I think we've got the making of a Steemit superstar here.
Thanks. There are people though that has lived like the moneyless man, for example, that has lived without money, and that's like the main way I'm going to do it actually, because I'm not going to spend a lot of money, and I'm not spending like almost anything of the thing I accumulate on Steem, because I want to like, I don't need to spend any money because I have the resources to live without it basically, but I'll just use them to spread the word about Steem blockchain and just pay it forward basically.
I have another. Go ahead, Nick.
No, you go ahead.
I have a different kind of question, so I will let him like speak on this topic first. Okay, I'll go ahead and ask him. Hey, Rico, do you buy any food or do you live exclusively from dumpster diving?
Yeah, I bet by like almost nothing. and now I'm not going to buy anything, and it's going to be much easier, because then I don't even have to think about buying food. And I've been buying, like, before like a year ago, I was actually buying shitloads of food for a while, like only organic, and I was paying like almost all my money to that. But that was just for like a year or something. Like, I had a break in dumpster diving, but yeah, I find like I gotten so much information the last year that I can live very good, very healthy, without having to spend a lot of money on food.
Yeah, that's a really cool thing. I know how much organic food costs. It's just like at least twice more than regular.
Yeah, exactly.
That
And you don't even have to buy, you don't even have to like get food from the stores. You can, I started like going out into nature and just foraging my food. So I just picking fruits, berries, and the greens that are growing everywhere is such an abundance, and we're not using it at all. And it's the most healthy, most nutritious thing you can ever find. And if you think about it, it's growing naturally in nature. And if you think about it, the things we are growing, it's not really growing so much in nature naturally. So maybe the things that are growing naturally are actually better for us.
I
Yeah,
think
good
about.
point. And especially it depends on the climate and where you are located because some things may not be growing there. But anyways, every time I try to have a small veggie garden and I just grow a couple kinds of vegetables and some herbs, and I love not having to buy any vegetables from the store that are being brought here, you know?
And
Yeah,
the
it's
funny
such a
thing.
difference. Yeah, Linda.
Okay, sorry guys. I'm just trying to get into somewhere there. The funny thing is, in Germany there are much more bio products, and they are much cheaper compared to other countries, because that's kind of adopted as mainstream thing. But that's not my point. My point is that buying artificial food is actually a new thing. We did this in a couple of 50, 60 years. Before that, we didn't know what it was. So we're kind of going back to our roots now, when we are returning to forests, and we are returning to farming how we are supposed to. And that's the funny thing. It was corn was the bomb, like the last years until everybody started talking how bad the corn syrup and everything in it is. And it's kind of just people returning to our old values and realizing that it's killing us what we eat now. So
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually, Linda.
my
Yeah.
grandparents grew everything themselves. They had their own chickens and everything, and happy chickens. If they say now it's happy chickens, and they sold their eggs when they were younger, like really young, and they continue doing it afterwards. And in Latvia, a lot of farmers still do it like themselves, but a lot of artificial food was brought in as well. And it's a really actually such a fraction of time when we did this shit food that we started doing. And the truth is, it messed up with us very much, with people, the immune systems and everything. And it's much more unhealthy, and does bad to your body. And then it's only in a couple of years. Like, how many years have we had this kind of food? 50, 60, last 100, not more.
No, exactly. And I think like it's like easy. It's like closer to the source, like its natural state, the better. And like especially if it grows like close to you, because then it's you've been probably, and your generations has probably been living on that food, so you're very like adopted to that. And you also don't like the environmental factor, that you don't have to ship things all over the world, etc.
Yeah, and Bushkill had the
Linda,
same.
Linda,
Okay,
one
sorry.
second. One second. No, it's okay. I think that there's a lot of people here who'd like to talk about this. So what we will do is we will judge this competition, and then we will close the show, and then we'll take everyone's mic off, and then we can have a great big chat about food, and we can ask Rika things and talk about stuff. Bushkill, I know there's honey and things. So okay. So here are the entrants. We're all going to vote on it. There's 5 of us. If there's a tie, I'm going to pick the winner, because I'm going to be a mild, benevolent dictator. Shall we start? Who would like to vote first? Cubby, who's your vote?
Okay, so just to review, they have to be wearing a ton of clothes and we have to be able to see the whale shares sign, correct? Technically, those are the rules.
Exactly. Yes, yeah.
Alrighty. All things considered, my favorite was number 2, I believe it was, with the hat.
Okay, that's one for Bushkill. Linda, your vote.
Mine was because of the funny face and everything. Number 4, I think that's the best one because you can still see the tag there, even though I made the picture smaller. You could see it before. It would be 12, but the tag was very small. But 4 is my.
Okay. Rico, who do you vote for?
It's your turn, Nick.
You don't want to vote yet. I'm going to vote for 4, I think, because it was the best face, and he put on a hell of a load of clothes, and you can see Welsh's clearly, and the pic still makes me laugh when I see it. So I think it's going to be great, great little advert on Steemit for this forum.
Ooh, 2 votes for number 4. What will Rico and Contrin do?
I'm
Ladies
gonna.
first.
Thank you. I have a few favorites. I like the second one of Bushkill, and I also like the 4th, and I also like the 5th of Ibusa because he got creative with his sign. But I think I'm gonna do number 4, 2, because I like the fur hat.
Yes, 2 for 2.
Oh, then we have a tie, right?
Yes,
Rico.
yes, okay, Rico.
Da, na, 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 na. Okay, I'm gonna decide. Yeah, I like many of them actually. I think all of them. I'm just a little bit annoyed that the weight shares isn't visible on everyone, but yeah, the dogs are of course close to my heart. But I have to choose one of 2 and 4, and I think I love Bushkill's picture and a lot of clothes, and it's a good sharp picture and everything. The only thing I'm missing, he's covering his mouth. That's not good at all. So I'm gonna go with number 4 with a great. Yeah, I love that one. So fun.
Okay,
Winner!
We have a winner, Jack Johannes Hamp. Well done. I think it was the face you pulled that
Yes, definitely.
clinched it for us. So we all enjoyed that one. So you need to put that picture in a post and then get it to me, and I'll make sure it gets the upvotes that we've promised for it. So well done. Other than that, we're going to take your mics off any second now, so we can all have a chat about sustainable food and other things. If there are any more questions you've got for Rico, I think he'll be around for a little bit longer. And I guess we should all say goodbye then, unless there's anything else. Any other business, anyone, before we go?
Oh, so he needs to make a post with the picture.
Yes, and then we will all upvote it.
Okay.
Okay, that's it for everyone. Thank you all for coming. There's too many names to read out, but I've had a look. I've seen everyone who's here, so I have taken a note, and I'm very grateful for you for coming on, listening to our show. Don't forget to send me your Open Ledger address if you want some free Welsh shares, and hopefully we will see you next week. Look out for the posts reminding you about what's going on. There will be a competition again next week as well, and we will speak all again soon. Okay, thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Bye.
See ya!
Hej då!